Today I'm going to talk about something that might be top of the news mind for a lot of people. I don't know if that makes sense. News mind, top of news mind. I don't know. But either way, hey, from Hawaii to Southern California, some of you have been seeing this. Extreme forces of nature have been wreaking havoc just in Southern California, right? There was that hurricane along with an earthquake. Again, as deadly wildfires tore through Hawaii, which we saw causing a loss of over 100 lives and thousands evacuated, right? There's a lot of stuff happening. The aftermath of both of these things are super are unpredictable as far as the impact. But what's happening out here, right? Like, what's going on with this weather? What should we be thinking about when it comes to these natural disasters? Should we call them disasters? I don't know.
Well, listen here, Chris. I don't know. I don't know what we should be looking forward to. I don't know what we should make out of these events. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, so I'm not going to answer it. The question I am going to answer is when I look across the great United States of America, when I look across the great planet, Mother Earth, the question I ask myself is, of these so-called disasters, which one would I prefer? That's the question I ask myself. I sit back at night, I have a glass of water, and you know, I've never smoked a cigar in my life, but imagine me with a cigar, and I sit back and I ask myself, you know, self, what is it that you would want to endure if it had to? And apparently, what we call hurricanes out here in California, not too bad, not too bad. I'll take it. It was a nice drizzle, got things wetted up a little bit. Great for grounding out here on the beach. We actually experienced a earthquake in the middle of it as well. Yeah, you know, did I see my life flash in front of my eyes just a little bit? Yes, I did. I did, in fact, but I was okay. I was fine. Our guest here who's coming up, we're going to have to ask the same question here because the great state of Florida sees these destructive events very often. And I'm just curious, would you trade it for an earthquake and a little shower? Would you do that? All right. Would you trade whatever happens over there in where do you stay? What's the city again?
I'm outside the Poconos, right? Outside
Poconos
in Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
What's the closest city there for you, sir?
The Poconos.
City.
That is a city. It's technically a city.
I yield the rest of my time to see Zion. You know, to calling the Poconos a city. I'm done.
Whatever.
I'm done.
Listen, it's a region. It's good enough. But talk about this weather. This weather stuff is unpredictable, but at the end of the day, we're gonna have to figure out what always comes to mind when this stuff happens is like, are we prepared? That's really always the thing I think about. Like, are we prepared? I think you had said something to me, like, as you know, you just said it kind of jokingly that, you know, your life flashed before your eyes, but in general, right? Like these things that we have no control over, earthquakes, hurricanes. I'm fearful of tornadoes, right? Like I've talked about like just the wind spout coming down, not like the tornado that we hear up here in like the Northeast, but like tornado alley tornadoes. Like those things scare me. They're probably the same, but those things scare me. But are we prepared? Right? A lot on this show, you guys know, on The Good Life, we talk a lot about awareness, preparedness, right? Ownership. We talk about those things. So just when it comes to every time I see these natural disasters and, you know, empathy for the people that lose their lives, empathy, right? Like my heart goes out to the people that are stranded. And there's some, you know, conspiracy stuff that I don't know if anybody pays attention to what the talks are, especially about the Maui wildfires. But there might be some things there that are a little skeptical. But regardless, right? Heart goes out to all those people. But the question is like, how prepared are we for stuff like this? How prepared are we if something like that happens? Would we know how to react? Would we know what to grab? Would we know where to go or what to do? I just think preparedness is so important. And the more that we see these types of things, the more it just reminds us that like we really do have to be aware and prepared of like what's happening around us at all times, even from this weather front. So just something to think about to make sure that we are able to take care of ourselves and our family in case anything happens. But definitely staying away from the tornadoes. I'm trying to stay away from them as long as I possibly can. That's right. The goal. That's the goal. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Good Life.
If you enjoy this episode, please take a moment to subscribe and like our channel.
If you have any feedback or suggestions for future episodes, please leave us a comment down below.
If you're listening to the podcast audio version, we appreciate you just as much. Thank you for tuning into the Good Life show.
We believe that everyone has the potential to live their best life, and we hope our show helps you get that one step closer to achieving your goal.
If you know someone who would benefit from our show, please share it with them, and thank you for your continued support.
That's it for another week's episode here on The Good Life. We'll see you next week for another inspiring conversation.